Okay. So we had the crystal, and it was getting bigger. So we took it to the ocean to try science. And we ended up not really trying any science. We tried magic instead. And then a guy came and said, I want the crystal. And we didn't want the crystal, so we gave it to him. And then Tabarin realized that that was probably a bad idea. But when he took the crystal, he gave Harbeck a ball of glass. And I told him to put it in the fire, but instead he threw rocks at it for a long time. And then he didn't put it in the fire. He just made it hot with his hands. And that helped. But then he realized that probably he shouldn't have it, because probably it was bad. And then we got on a boat. And we're almost home.
Yeah, in a nutshell, that's basically what happened. I'm happy with that. Everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost home.
Almost home. All right, so we are in, or rather, the ship has just docked. You're technically not off the ship yet. The ship has just docked at Port Maverick, the major and only port in the freelands of Amorous, where the party has traveled to try and get some more information about the old dragon gods and some weird people who live north in the Valley of Mists and some strange magics and a weird glass ball and
a box that
things, really.
Explodes when you try to open it.
Yeah, that thing too. Lots of things, actually. There's many, many reasons for them to be here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next. So, you're docked in Port Maverick. You have determined there are elves here somewhere. You don't know where. But Brig has adopted the disguise of a drunk halfling man. And
Traveling with us.
And you're getting off the boat, I take it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay.
As soon as the boat stops moving, Harbeck starts moving.
That's fair enough. Okay, so you get off the boat and walk down the gangplank, head onto the docks, look around, roll a perception check.
Harbeck doesn't roll a perception check. Docks are still wood above water, and he's not happy until his feet hit dirt.
I suggest, my friends, that we take care of our business in the port as quickly as possible and move on.
Looking around your immediate vicinity, you see no trace of the elves of Thakon.
It's just the way I like it.
Alright.
Okay. What's the plan?
Dirt is the plan. Harbeck's
Harbeck
feet need
starts
dirt.
Harbeck starts walking towards the nearest source of dirt.
What time of day is it?
So the ship left early morning. It was almost a full day's travel, full 8 hours travel. So, like, probably 3 or 4 in the afternoon.
Now,
I think we need to find an inn fairly quickly.
normally, I would suggest having an inn, or sleeping in an inn, in an inn. But with the elves in the port, I think perhaps we should camp.
In the forest?
But camp food. Oh. I need to do some shopping.
I can catch us some fish while we're here. I don't know how to fish. It's gonna be awesome.
Harbeck wanders off into any part of Port Maverick that is on dry land, hunting for a spice shop.
There's not so much shops as just, like, people in the streets with carts full of stuff.
Great. If any of those carts are full of spices, Harbeck is going to need lots of, like, hot peppers and salt and...
A man after my own heart.
onions and just like flavor to put in camp food, so he can make it through this ordeal.
Okay. Sure, you eventually find a trader who's willing to trade for monies for various spices and onions and things. Let's say you pick up enough spices and so forth to keep your food spiced and prepped for like 30 days. It'll cost you 10 gold pieces.
Great, well worth.
And all the while, is the party continuing to head towards the outskirts of town? What's the...
Follow
Are we
Din.
staying in an inn?
Oh, I'm fishing. I have to catch some fish so we can feed Harbeck.
Roll a wisdom check for me, please. Just a unskilled wisdom. Not bad. You realize that catching fish would require bait of some description.
Oh, I have some. I have velvet lures with my fishing tackle.
Hooray! And you sit down and try to catch some fish. Roll a dexterity check for me, please. You catch no fish.
In my
You remember when
defense,
you
I've
tried to
fished
feed
with a
Brig a
fishing pole
boot?
before.
Yeah, if you were in the water with your teeth, you'd probably have a better chance of catching fish than you currently are with your fishing rod.
I'm trying to figure out. I've never fished with a fishing pole before. I'm trying to figure out how all the pieces go together, and I was probably not very successful at that. I don't think I've ever seen.
You're probably trying to stab the fish with the fishing pole.
Yeah.
With
I'm
your
trying to,
fishing
like,
experience.
Stab the fish with the fishing pole and then tie him up with the line. Like, I'm not succeeding at this at all.
Oh, there's a string on it. Maybe I throw it and reel it back with the line.
Din,
Huh?
we need to leave town.
Okay. Are we going to the forest now?
I
I'm
think
much better at finding food in the forest than I am in the ocean.
I think maybe the forest is really far away, but we're gonna go out into the wilderness.
Are you okay?
Mm-hmm.
You don't seem okay. Is this another you that I don't know yet?
Shh.
The sound of that like I can see the sloppy finger like hitting the lips a little bit too hard. Like, shh.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just got wetter in that last 5 seconds than you did on the entire boat journey.
Okay.
So, we're headed out
Should
of
we get
town?
horses? Are we walking or are we getting horses?
We're walking. I'm walking.
Really
You can have a horse if you want, but that doesn't go so well for me, we've learned.
really bad at them.
Cart.
Harbeck doesn't
A horse.
like horses.
A horse with a cart, and you could sit in the cart, and the horse could pull the cart.
I've been riding in a wooden contraption for most of a day.
You can walk.
I'd like to feel the dirt under my feet.
Are there roads in Amorous?
Not really.
Carts do better on roads.
Well, we could just get horses, and Harbeck could walk.
Let's just walk.
You have little legs, but okay.
He's also a rogue, which means he's faster and stronger and more stabby than everybody else. So it doesn't matter.
I'm the one you got to worry about.
Yeah, poor Tavern. Or Rogar in his heavy armor, although he is quite tough. Okay, so you head out of Port Maverick. Are you going to be heading, like... What's the plan for the day? Are you where in what direction are you heading? Basically, I suppose is the question.
I'm heading towards the forest because nobody really told me differently.
Okay,
I
so
suppose we head towards the hills and skirt the hills towards Alisar.
so are we going to the forest just like for kicks? It's kind of out of the way from.
Are
So
we going
like
to Alisar?
our final destination is the Norfall area, right? That's where Rogar's folks hang out. So the fastest way would just be head up this coast.
Right.
I think
but
if we don't go to the forest, Din will break.
Right. So we're going to go to Norfall by way of the forest and Alisar because we should stop by Alisar for a sightseeing trip. Is that right?
Apparently, we're not in a super hurry.
Yeah.
Well, there's a
If we get bored and we feel like we're not advancing, we could always go with Plan B. We could put on that ring and spy on a god.
Well, the machinations of deities usually take a long time to work out. We
got a
can
couple
probably
weeks.
mosey.
Yeah.
It's fine.
well.
If video game RPGs have taught me anything, you have all the time in the world for the side quests, no matter how pressing the
Wasn't-
danger to the universe is.
Wasn't there some ancient temple in Alisar?
Yeah, the whole Alisar is an ancient temple. It's the temple of Alisar. Nobody knows where it came from. Nobody knows what deity it was originally designed to worship. All anybody knows is it is absolutely massive, breathtaking, and ancient.
Right. So we don't have a
Find
great
some
reason
connections there.
So my understanding is we don't really have a good reason to go there other than it's really cool and we should look at it because we're going to be over there. Anyway.
Well, how about this for a reason to go there? We have a very sort of tenuous clue that we're traveling halfway across the continent to go follow up on. We might as well swing by Alisar, and maybe it's a temple to a god that we're concerned about. Like, who knows? It could be a
One that could
thing.
help us.
all right.
Like, it's
There may be information there, some ancient library books.
I bet
There's
the
also-
way to fight a god is with a god.
There's also the fact that it's been told to you by Rogar and Din that it's kind of like the diplomatic center / meeting place for a lot of the tribes. If there's any kind of disputes or territory disputes or
Weird-
budding conflict, that's the place
Weird
that you would learn
happenings.
any local information.
So
It's-
if I were smart and good at things, I might realize that Alisar could find us Rogar's people before Norfall. That might be faster to get to the
Okay.
people we want to talk to.
But for now, goal 1 is Din, get us to your home forest in the most direct or easiest way possible, right? Just take us to your home forest. We'll make our way from there to Alisar, and if needed, from Alisar up to Norfall.
I'm
That's the
probably
basic plan?
faster at getting to Alistar through the forest because mostly I hang out in the forest. So for me, that
Yeah.
probably is the most direct way to get to Alistar.
Yeah,
So-
she'd be heading west-southwest, almost directly into the Regan Forest. So straight across the hills, skirting the Nerim Woods to the Regan Forest, basically right over where it says the free land of Amorous.
We're,
So
we're
we're
going to
pretty
walk
much
right
just-
across the title.
Yeah,
So we're just going to go straight into the hills. It's not faster to walk around them or something.
And if you roll enough
No, it
perception
might be,
checks,
but I
you'll see
don't.
the letters.
Yeah, carved into the ground. No, that's not how it's going to work. So yeah, the hills they vary from hillocks, knolls, not the hyena people, the grassy,
Right.
and too soon. I don't know. I'm not American, but there's big hills in there as well. So you'd be weaving in and around hills and trying to avoid the steepest of slopes, but it's much
Right.
faster to go through the hills and around.
Mostly they're nice rolling hills, and we can pick
Yeah.
a path that will be fairly easy.
Yeah, basically.
All right. Well, assuming that we leave town relatively shortly after we arrive in Port Maverick, my spell only lasts an hour, and if we are, half an hour or more out of Port Maverick by the time that happens, I just let it lapse
Yeah, it
Stop.
would be about that.
and stop acting drunk.
Okay. So yeah, by nightfall you would reach the beginning of the foothills. If you were making a fairly steady pace, which I imagine you would be, you want to probably get as far away from
Right.
Port Maverick as possible, being that there were elves in the area. So yeah, you would make it to the foothills sort of just above where the F is in the of Amorous. Which is reasonably good time, I would say. But you would get there by about nightfall. Did you want to continue on?
I don't think that we have any reason to exhaust ourselves.
Yeah.
We should rest when we get tired.
Aye. And we should have some dinner.
Din remembers the hills fondly. So we're making camp.
Babs, Din. I don't know why I said the wrong name. I don't know who that is that I was thinking of. Din, what would you eat if you were here?
Maybe rabbits. Wait, I am here. What do you mean if I was here?
No, I mean without us. I mean we brought some food. But if you were here with your family, what would you eat?
Whatever we catch, I guess.
Should we spend some time finding something? Or should we just eat what we have?
I could set some traps, but I don't know if we're going to be here long enough to use them. I could go hunt for a minute.
I'd like to see that, I think. Would it be too awkward to do if I was following you about?
Maybe, because you're not very quiet. Are you very quiet?
No, no, I am rarely quiet.
That might be hard.
Great, then I'll sit here, and you can tell me all about it when you get back.
Okay, so dinner, you're going to go out and try and hunt.
I'm going to forage, and I'm going to find twice as much food as I normally would.
I will go with her. I am actually trained in survival, though my wisdom score is so low that it doesn't look like I am.
Can I get
but-
survival rolls for both
Survival.
of you then?
But I'll go help.
Oh, that was okay.
Din, you managed to bag a pair of conies, like rabbits, hares, which I know are two different things. Hares, they're bigger.
Yeah.
A couple of them, and Brieg manages to forage up a few, like, native potatoes and things that he believes are edible. And
I
you
have
bring them
also
back.
been convinced that elves are a bad thing, so just while we're doing this, I'm keeping an eye out.
Okay, good. Nothing that you could see would indicate elves in the general area.
Okay.
Okay, so heading back to the camp, cooking up a feast of trail rations.
When you get back,
hare.
Harbeck's got a fire going, and he's got, like, how are you carrying all of this kitchen gear set out around the fire? What'd you get?
Rabbits. Well,
Great.
hares, really.
What'd you get?
I think these might be potatoes.
Oh, toss me one. Harbeck slices off a little piece, pops it in his mouth, chews for a minute. Is it a potato?
Roll a Constitution save.
I have a thing, because I'm an artificer. Brewmaster. I have that didn't taste right. So I get advantage on saving throws against any substance.
You do.
And I can determine ingredients in non-magical substances.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to roll that save that way. Constitution, you say?
Yes, with advantage.
Yay, advantage!
What you want? You bite into it. It's bitter and clearly not a potato. Definitely a root vegetable of some description, but that doesn't taste right.
Brig, we don't want to eat these.
That's fair.
Can I cook it into something edible?
But you could try and experiment with it.
Can I brew it into something interesting? Harbex puts it in a pouch. Get me the rest of those.
Poison,
Okay.
almost vodka.
Poison almost vodka, yeah. Why not?
So Harbeck's going to set about prepping rabbits and using a few of his precious spices to make delicious dinner.
Okay, and everybody eats and is satisfied. Better than satisfied.
Delicious.
It was delicious. Okay, and you're making camp. Everybody is going to be resting up. Are we picketing watches? What's the story?
Yeah, we should set up some watches.
I think first.
I don't
I'll
sleep
sleep.
well anyway. I'll take the middle one.
Anybody for the last watch?
I'll wake up early.
Okay. You're typically up early anyway, with a hangover. Looking for your
Got
next
to get the
beer.
eggs on so you can get rid of the hangover.
Okay, can I get a perception check from each of you, please?
Oh, perception checks. I'm a terrible choice for a watchman.
Oh my
You
goodness.
really are. Remind me never to let you do perception checks.
In the I have rolled multiple zeros during this campaign. In the future, maybe
bump.
Din should take the middle.
Or Rogar.
The middle
Take it
watch
with
is the
me.
worst watch.
We should have
Okay.
Wolf take the first watch and Din take the second watch.
That's legit.
But that
She
would
can
work.
just take all the watches.
Yeah. Wolf, then Din, then Wolf. He's only there to like flank things for Brieg anyway. The night passes without incident. Which is
Or if
something
there
that
was an
everybody
incident,
likes
I didn't notice it.
to-
All right, pack up. Let's go.
Din seems to be in a hurry the next morning. Anybody wanting to do anything in particular on the journey for the rest of the day?
I'm just going to keep my eye out for interesting looking flora. We're in a very different part of the world from where I'm used to being, and if there's something interesting over here, I want to find it and experiment with it.
Okay, can I get a survival check from you, please?
Yes.
And we will continue on for our journey. You make a reasonably straight, winding path, well, it's like straightish path through the hills, basically heading directly across the header there, the free land of Amorous. And by nightfall, you've made your way the entire way through the hills, and you are on the border, the edge of Din's home forest, the Regan Forest. She's almost home. She's still quite away from where she was raised. She was raised up, like where you'll see a river that runs sort of south from Alisar, and it sort of does a little bit of a bend to the left and then comes back to the right, where the river sort of peaks there towards the left. The furthest it goes left, that's where Din is headed, basically.
Feel good about that.
Okay, Harvick. There was a bunch of interesting plants and bits and pieces that you sort of encountered while you were wandering along. Unusual flowers that you'd never seen before, and some weird weeds and things that were a little bit interesting, and stuff that was growing that you noticed, like there'd be huge clumps of vegetation where there was no vegetation, like all the grass had been eaten by grazing animals, but these particular plants had been left alone, and therefore you were sort of drawn towards them because those sorts of things are typically
Yeah. Not good to eat.
unpleasant. But obviously you have no idea what any of this sort of stuff does until you either decide to nom it or brew with it and experiment. So you found a weird purple flower.
I might be able to help you know what things are.
Ooh.
Being that you're native to the area, that's true.
Yeah.
Weird purple flower has been noted.
Okay, you've got a weird purple flower. You've got the uneaten weeds.
Okay.
And what else did I say that you found? I think that were the only two things you found. Yeah.
Great.
But if you're sort of handling them and looking at them at any stage, Din can roll a survival check to see if she knows anything about them.
I'm going to get a double proficiency bonus. That's a thing.
For being in your
It's
native
happen.
territory.
Yeah. How do I make that be a thing?
If you switch proficient from yes to expertise, that will double
Oh,
your proficiency.
it'll do it
bonus.
like magic.
Yep.
It's like magic.
Well, bam!
24.
I know everything about your yellow flower.
You actually don't know much about the flower. It's more
purple,
native to
though.
the hills. Yeah, you don't know much about the flower. But the weird weed that he keeps handling is called blackroot, and basically nothing eats it. Like nothing eats it. And you remember when you were younger, you like chewed on a piece of it once, and it made you feel really unwell. But anyway, so you're on the edge of the forest. You're on the edge of the forest. Are we just setting up camp again?
Yes, this time I'm going to suggest that somebody take the middle watch with me, because I remember that I'm really bad at noticing things.
If you could just sleep, I'll take it.
I don't sleep well anyway. I'll keep you company.
Wait! Dinner! What's for dinner?
Just eat your rations
Just
like a
eat
good
your
boy.
rations.
Eat your rations. I have those for emergencies. Is that an emergency? Oh,
Here, I'll make you a good berry.
Harbeck takes
wait.
his good berry
10
and his
good
rations and his peppers and his onions, and he tries to make something
berries.
palatable.
One good berry is enough nourishment for one day.
It's a delicious berry.
And
Some might say it was a good berry.
Good.
That is a good berry, then. Thank you.
I feel like, in spite of the fact that it magically provides the nutrition that you need for the day, it would not be super satisfying to live on a berry a day.
Harbeck enjoys the process of eating.
It's like the little kid from the Golden Child who's eating the leaves off the plant, one
Yeah.
leaf per day.
Yeah. No, that's Harbeck likes to have his mouth do chewing, and then his throat do swallowing, and then his knife do knifing, and his fork do more putting and mouthing. That's fun for him. That's an important part of his routine. And the good berry's great, but man, I didn't get to chew on it enough.
Brieg, on the other hand, is perfectly happy to live on one berry a day.
He's a bit of a minimalist like that. So, Harbeck's hobbies include eating, chewing, cutting up food, preparing food,
Swallowing.
and drinking.
Forking.
Swallowing, sorry. Okay, so watches tonight. The three people who are doing watches,
I can take a watch again.
I can take
and
one.
Din's taking. Rogar's going to take one. Okay, so Llama gets to sleep tonight. He's going to be stoked. Can I get perception checks from the three of you, please?
So, do I get a bonus to this too?
I don't know.
An
I don't
intelligence or wisdom check related to the terrain. Oh? Is this terrain related?
I don't think so.
Okay. Oh, perfectly average of me.
Yeah, it really was. That's true, Miss Lizzie, that's true. Okay, so... Right. The night passes without incident once again. It's morning.
It seems
Everybody slept well.
It seems unfortunate that we're going to visit your home forest without getting to meet your family.
Why do you want to meet my family?
I've never met somebody raised by wolves, nor have I ever met the wolves that raised them. Just
You met this
seems-
wolf?
Right, and he seems perfectly pleasant. I'm curious about the rest of those that you spent your youth with.
Brig, do you remember the first thing you saw that wolf do?
Eat the ear I fed him. It was very handy.
Indeed. How many ears do you have?
2. I understand that there's a chance that the wolves may attack me, which does make me somewhat concerned for their safety.
Legit.
Such quiet
It's
confidence.
been a weekend and they raised a human child. Don't you think that they'd be I mean, it's obviously your decision. I just thought you'd want to stop and say hello.
I don't know that I'd want to risk being the one that killed Din's family. So why are you pushing it?
It's fine.
Let's sate our curiosity on her stories as we walk through her forest.
Why would you say
So,
something like
When I
that?
was sick, this tree over here.
And you continue walking through the forest. Anybody doing anything special today?
Keeping an eye out.
I am gonna listen to all of Din's stories I am gonna be her rapt audience, and she is gonna find me the coolest flowers to put in my sample pouch.
So Din is rolling a survival check.
It's basically gonna go like this. Did you ever eat one of those? Did you ever eat one of those?
24. You find a bunch more of the blackroot stuff and a couple more of those weird purple flowers that Din doesn't know anything about. And she also shows you where you find more of those potato things that Brig had dug up earlier. Dug up? That Brig dug up.
He dug them right
earlier.
up.
Are you ready? Are you ready for my joke of the day?
Mm.
This is a good one. You can't run through a campsite. You can only ran because it's past tense.
That was awful.
I'm not sure what's more amusing, the joke or Llama taking just that extra second to actually work out the joke there.
Just awful.
pretty
I
happy
need
with
to let my dog out. I will be back in 2 minutes.
So, I deciphered the joke pretty immediately. The thing that set off the laughter was, like, would Din tell that joke? How would she know enough about language to know what tense is? Who taught her to talk? Why is she a linguist all of a sudden?
Anyway. So you continue traveling through the forest, and eventually you come across the river. You ford the river quite comfortably. No dramas there, heading deeper into the forest. Right now
Must be a
you
little
are
river.
about here, and we've reached nighttime.
I'm almost home.
About one more day's travel from home. So making camp again, I assume.
Yes.
Din,
Huh.
where do we get dinner? I can't eat rations 2 days in a row.
I'll find something.
And Dinner's going to go and do her thing.
Oh.
She manages to bag a couple of fat local birds that you're not familiar with, but they're kind of gamey, like ground birds. Some kind of fowl, anyway. And, yeah, they'll probably make for a delicious meal. Honestly.
Great.
Just
Harbeck's
like that.
excited to have something to cook, and that engages his evening. I'm going to see if tonight feels like a good night to taste a purple flower leaf.
You're going to try and munch on a purple flower leaf?
The best chemistry set that I brought on this trip that I can set up in a campsite and use is my tongue.
That's actually very, very true. Can I please have a Constitution save?
My favorite kind of save. Terrible. Go
With
advantage. That is not good.
Oh gosh.
It was just a leaf.
Does Harbeck get the munchies?
No, not quite. But something does happen. So, Harbeck, you taste the leaf, and that doesn't taste right. That tastes a little bit. What? Why is that tree purple?
Yes.
Why is Brieg wobble? Why are there two Briegs?
At
You
least
are
two,
now.
probably 3 or 4.
Yeah, you are now on a naturally induced, of course, I would never condone any kind of chemical abuse, a naturally induced
The shrooms are totally natural.
LSD trip,
Yeah.
basically.
Oh, this is going to be useful. And so's
Um,
that.
As he starts grabbing at shiny lights in the sky, like a cat pawing at a string. You guys all notice Harbeck is acting a little weird.
You don't notice when Brieg acts weird.
It's really hard to tell.
You know what's the weirdest thing about Brieg? He's been so normal tonight. You guys, I think we have an imposter, Brieg.
Yeah, you're totally trustworthy right now.
I think the one on the left's the real one. It's the Brieg on the left. That's the good Brieg.
So
This
you
one on the
taking-
right, over here.
Taking the first watch tonight, Harvard?
He's not. I'll take all the watches tonight. I can
Okay.
see smells.
Can I have a second constitution save from you about now, please, Harbeck?
Ooh, if I still get advantage, I did better on that one.
You don't get advantage for this one, unfortunately. So, as you sort of bat at fancy lights and try and work out which Brieg is the real Brieg, you start to... Your vision starts to blur and dim and it's getting really hard to see. Like you could see sound before, and now you're struggling to even make out the environment around you.
Uh-oh. I can't see anything now. I hope I can hear vision.
No.
Uh-oh. Guys, don't eat the purple flowers. It's really fun for a minute, and then you can't see any Briegs. I had one Brieg, and then I had 2 Briegs, and now I have 0 Briegs, and I like Briegs. I want more Briegs.
All right, who's taking watches tonight?
I got one. And I'm going to keep an eye on Harbeck's condition.
I'll
So you'll
that.
take first watch then?
Yeah.
Perhaps Rogar can keep an eye on him. You have some healing magics, right? If Harbeck hurts himself or something, you can...
Yeah.
Harbeck's already hurt. He can hear a Brieg, but he can't see any Briegs.
Aww. Oh, there's a real Pia right
Oh.
here. Okay, so, and then Din, I guess you'll take last watch. All right, can I get perception checks from the 3 of you, please?
Brieg gives Harbeck a big hug.
I feel a Brieg.
We're all really not wanting to be super perceptive.
Yeah, we
That's really true.
We should have hired a low-level civilian to do our perception checks.
Because they would have been better.
we feel really safe here in Amorous, you know?
Rogar, quick question for you. Do you have dark vision on Dragonkin? You do, don't you?
No. No, I
No,
don't
no
think so.
dark vision. Okay. Because that would have messed with what you could potentially see. During your watch, you see a light in the distance. A dim light, a faint light, but a light in the distance. Definitely a light. It's flickering. It's fire of some descript.
Make sure to discreetly wake people up.
But after sobbing yourself to sleep, you're gently nuzzled. Nuzzled? No. I don't
No.
think Rogar is nuzzling
No.
you. Gently shaken awake. Nuzzled. That's like what Din would do.
Brieg might have fallen asleep, nuzzling Harbeck.
Yeah, he might have been gently nuzzled as well. That's a possibility. Anyway, so everybody is gently
Your weird
stirred by-
bromance.
Hey, it's a blossoming character arc. You never know where it's going.
I know where it's going. But we just can't show that part of the stream on Twitch. So, anyways, you're all woken up gently and quietly, and obviously something is going on. Rogar, when he wakes you, is sure to make sure you don't make any noise.
How good is
but when you
Harbeck
wake
at not
up-
making any noise?
Reasonably good. You can also see again.
Yay! I mean,
And all of you can clearly make out in the distance there's some kind of firelight. It doesn't seem to be moving. It's just, like, it's a long way off. But,
Is it like back the way we came? I assume
it's
we
further
wouldn't be able
on.
to. Okay, so it's like in the forest.
yeah. It's obscured from vision. Like, the source of the light is obscured from vision. But you can see the light dancing around in the forest a long way off. Like, further away from... than your light could ever reach, that's for sure.
Din, is that normal? Do you usually
No.
get light in the forest?
Yeah, sun.
So that's not normal.
Right.
Is it just other travelers? I mean, it just looks like a campfire to me.
It's pretty late at night.
I'll go check it out.
I'll come with you. I get all of the stealth.
Yeah. So we are very sneaky.
Yes.
And Din and I are going to go sneak over and look at it. I rolled a 2.
Strong work.
Better than a 1.
Slightly.
What am I doing? Stealth. I'm stealthing. I also rolled a 2.
So twos all around seem to be a thing.
Yeah, so we're like, we'll go check it out, and then we just like go.
We'll be
running
super
through the
quiet.
bush.
Don't worry, guys.
Okay.
Din
We
just
were so
can't
stealthy
stop
we
telling
couldn't
me about
see
it.
each other, and then we tripped on each other.
Din just can't stop telling me about these trees and like, oh, I think I've been down this game trail before. Do you see that? Din, shh, we're trying to sneak.
Okay, so I'm going to move you to... well, this is a little awkward. Because the stream wouldn't be able to see. Okay, I'm going to move the players over to this map. When I can find... There we are. There we go. Now... Din is probably not going to be able to see much. Because I'm imagining she's not wandering around with a torch while trying to sneak up on people.
No,
And she
but
doesn't have dark
if-
vision.
I can cast dark vision on myself.
Oh, would you do that so that you
Yeah.
can see, or okay?
It's
I will.
nice. I would do that.
Okay, I will adjust your vision radius accordingly so that you can see. And Harbeck is there, so
So the stream can
everybody
see?
who is here. Yeah, basically, that's why Harbeck is there. Harbeck's not actually there right now. He's just there so the stream can see what's going on. So everybody there actually has 60-foot dark vision now. So you can all see
Minus
what you would
me.
normally see. But you're not actually there.
Right.
I don't think you should be able to see anything, right?
Right.
Actually, now you shouldn't be able to see anything
Good.
on the map. This is only a recon anyway. But, yeah. So, you can clearly see there is a source of light. It seems to be on some old bit of ruin.
All right, Din, you go that way. I'll go this way.
Which way's that way?
The opposite direction that I'm going.
Okay, got it.
And you're both trying to be sneaky, right?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, the sneakiest.
we're not doing a very good job at it, but
I'm going to just drag Harbeck around following Din so we can see what she sees.
Okay. Alrighty then. I need to roll one of these.
I'm going to stop behind this tree.
Okay.
I'm gonna stand in the middle of this grass.
Can I get a perception check from both of you, please?
Man, I make such an awkwardly not good scout.
You're really good at not being observed while you're scouting.
Yeah, I'll get within spitting distance of the person that I'm looking at, but I won't have any idea that they're there.
Okay.
Except actually, I rolled pretty well that time.
And Din apparently didn't.
No.
Okay, so I'm actually going to give you advantage on that roll, Din, because this is particular to the environment
Okay.
as well. Okay, so let me just see what can Din see at the moment. Okay, and what can you see? All right, so where Brig has stopped, he actually can't see this. Okay, so Din, you see a man sort of leaning up against an old ruined bit of wall. He's got a campfire set up currently. He's wearing a long green flowing robe. It's hard to kind of tell what race he is, but he's not wearing any kind of weapons or anything like that. Like nothing that you can see anyway. And he's just sitting there by his campfire and whistling a tune to himself. In the background, you can hear all the noises of the typical night in the forest. You hear frogs croaking, a little bit
Well,
of
I'm just-
fire crackling. And,
Gonna say hello. And be a polite human being.
but there is one noise that you do single out.
Oh.
And it's a noise that you remember and you've heard it a dozen times, but it took a second to come back to you, and it's a particular kind of frog, and not a nice frog. In fact, they're highly aggressive, highly territorial frogs. They are also communal, so they live in groups, and
Attack you, folks?
they're very dangerous. They
I should go
they
warn
ex-
this guy.
they excrete like a lethal poison, or potentially lethal poison anyway.
Harbeck
And,
wants one.
Are very scary.
Okay.
Very,
I have to
very
go
scary.
warn this guy that these horrible frogs are very close to us. Excuse me, sir. I'm gonna not get too close when I yell at him, just in case he freaks
I'll
out.
move up a little bit when I hear.
Hello?
He turns his head ever so slightly, cocking his head towards you in a gesture that's almost not human. Like, not like a human would look at a potential, intruder, or
I
very animal-like.
I draw a bead on
And-
him with my short bow while I'm watching from the other side there at this interaction.
Okay. And you get a glance under his hood. You do, Din, but not Brig, who is on the other side of him and therefore is staring at the back of his head right now. And you recognize him, or you recognize his look, the look that he has. This... You don't have a name for them. There's a lot of things you don't have a name for, right? Because of the way you grew up. But these are not civilized people. These
Okay.
are wild men, in the truest sense. They don't speak any known language they're wild, and they live in the forests, they're solitary, and they're highly aggressive and territorial.
Okay, great.
Um,
I'm going to do whatever I need to do to look very non-threatening, expose my belly or whatever you would do in that situation, and slowly back away. And maybe go back to camp and hope that I don't step on any frogs on my way.
as you sort of start to back away, he growls at you and then makes a weird guttural croaking sound in the back of his throat, which is echoed all through the forest all around you.
I shoot him.
You shoot him?
You. Why would you shoot him?
That's not very nice.
Those noises are threatening. I can smell it. Also,
Are
he
you
just summoned a bunch of poisonous frogs around me.
Are you sure you want to shoot him?
Yep.
Here's your chance to make a better choice. Decline.
I will not make a better choice.
Wait!
No, don't.
When someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes, and when the DM asks you, "Are you sure?" you say no.
I'm not sure if you are aware of Brieg's general level of perceptive ability. He does not know that those frogs are there. What he knows is that Din looks scared of this thing, and it appears to be an aggressor. And he has proven really good at murdering stuff, so I'm going to murder this aggressive thing.
Fine, play in character.
Stupid role players. Role playing. This fight is likely going to take more than the 8 or so minutes that we have left in the stream. So, do we want to use this as a potential cliffhanger?